And anything else that you're shooting for at this point in time?
I am, and it's funny because I am truly living my dream, you know, and everything that I've wanted to accomplish so far in my sobriety, I have, you know, and that is, again, through God's help, you know, and, you know, I wanted to own a pet store. I produced a DVD a couple of years ago. That came to fruition, you know. You know, I do have other plans. I started taking my seminars nationally. I started in California. Now I'm working on Texas and Florida.
That's exciting.
So, and my goal is to educate people whatever means possible, you know, just like being here today, telling my story of addiction, that if someone like me, and I say this wholeheartedly, a disgusting, despicable crack addict who was robbing their family, who is now sober, 15 years I'm sober, and I'm a responsible member of my community. I'm involved in rescue work. I have a good business, you know. My home life is wonderful, you know. I mean,
yes, and Jeff, also too, we all know that addiction is a disease of progression, but also recovery is a healing thing of recovery, of progression of...
It is,
Yeah.
and you have to stay on top of it. I still go to meetings.
Yes.
You know, I never think that I got it like that, and that's why there's an old saying, you're either moving forward or you're moving backward. And I prefer to move forward because I know where backward takes me.
Yeah.
You know, backward takes me to the streets of Washington Heights, you know, in my addiction, going days at a time, and the uselessness you feel.
Yeah.
It's no wonder I had to do drugs.
Booking off to Mecca.
Yeah, and you know, now, like I said, I mean, and this is for anyone out there, if I can do it, anybody can. I really mean that, you know. And,
words of wisdom.
Yeah.
Well, Jeff, really, I'm just so grateful to you for your openness, because a lot of times people do reach recovery, and unfortunately, it's a private matter, but you certainly have blasted it right through the airwaves here, and hopefully people will respond to you both as a human being in recovery and as a trainer of pit bulls. And you also do some kenneling, right, for people who are on vacation? Or
oh, yeah, sure. I do
you
boarding, and
boarding.
that started because a lot of boarding facilities will not accept pit bulls.
Interesting.
And a lot of boarding facilities will not accept dogs that don't have vaccines, because obviously I love pit bulls, and I don't believe vaccines have a true place in the pet industry because they're overused. So that's how I began boarding dogs. So if you have a pit bull, or you care for your dog naturally, you need somewhere to go, send them my way.
Definitely, Jeff, definitely. Well, today this show is about a hero, my friend Jeff Coltenback. And just a quick little, if anyone's watching, been looking at these two pictures, this is another hero. We had so much snow this weekend that I would not be here today. I'm up in the mountains in a log cabin. If it were not for this man, I would have had to been airlifted out of the cabin. But Bruce Morse, well, this is he's in his Caterpillar that he had to come and bail me out and get the snow out. But he came on a moment's notice. I'm sorry, excuse me. Yeah, so we just want to kind of highlight him and thank Bruce Morse very much for the ministry he has up in the mountains with the mountain folk, particularly the older set, and helping them to get free of the environment and the elements. And also, too, Jeff, again, with your donations and how you reach out, you know, it's like giving back. I mean, so many of the 12-step programs, making amends, giving back. Which of the 12 steps do you think affected you most profoundly?
They all affect me at various spiritual stages in my life.
Okay.
The biggest step for any person wanting recovery is number one, literally step one. You have to admit you have a problem. Okay, and you know, once you get some time and you get some clarity, I guess the most profound impact that a step had on me initially was the fourth step, where I dig deep into my past. I write resentment lists. I get all that stuff on the table. That's the beginning of healing. You can't make amends and fix your behavior before you understand it. And that helped out a great deal, you know. And you have the fifth step, where fifth step in Catholicism is referred to as confession. You know, it's laying your cards out on the table, You know, I just didn't have to say 16 Hail Marys, so I was, you know.
You've been doing penance so for quite a while, yeah,
You know,
in
and
a
it's
wonderful
funny,
way.
I do
Yeah.
believe, I'm hard on myself. I am my biggest critic, okay? Which is why this stuff is easy. It's easy for me to share because there's nothing anyone can say to me. I'm the hardest on myself. And I do believe, in a sense, that this is a penance I'm going through for the rest of my life. I really believe that. You know,
That's interesting, Jeff. Also, too, in my work with people in recovery on the streets of Newark and Patterson, wherever God sends me, we always discuss, it's interesting that it's not so much the fear of failure, but it's basically the fear of success that, you know, that affects people who are under the addiction hell. Could you, you know, help me explain that? Because it's interesting.
Yeah, it's so simple and it's so challenging to overcome that when you come from addiction, at least in my experience, has been that I never deserved success. I was never worthy of it. And, you know, I just have to look around me at all the beautiful people that are in my life, the animals, the success. I mean, I am worthy. And it took me a long time to say that, to accept it. You know, because I didn't believe it because of some of the yucky things I did when I was out there, you know. But I made amends for those. And like I said, this penance that I'm going through right now, it's more of a life journey. You know, anybody with a spiritual journey understands.
Yeah.
It's a journey.
And you know, it was always such a contradiction because I would notice that most people who had addiction going on in their lives were, I mean, almost genius mentality. I mean, what it takes to just go out and score. I mean, you know, most people wouldn't know how to begin. So basically, just, you know, just again with the capability of what could happen on that level.
And you know what? You know where that capability comes from?
No.
One word: faith.
Wow.
You know. So if anyone wants to shoot for anything, shoot for faith.
Wow, that's pretty profound. Yeah, yeah. Well, Jeff, I hope that possibly we can be doing a part 1, a part 2, and many more parts. And just want to thank Sister Agnes so much for this opportunity to be in the studio and have the openness that Jeff came. And that's a huge spirituality, a spirituality to recovery that is mentioned in the Serenity Prayer. Yeah, so we're going to continuously just look for more and more and better things, Jeff. And we thank you so much. And as my friend, I can just say, you know.
I thank you, and thanks for having me.
Thank you, Jeff. God bless. And again, we hope to bring you some more shows of heroes like Jeff. And today, not only are we barraged on the TV with all the